John would know probably more details of what other states. Yeah.
Why Texas now?
Why what?
Why Texas now?
He's already made several trips to Texas. I mean, we think we're doing very well there. We think we have a lot of supporters in Texas, and obviously, when you look at the map, you try to decide where you spend your resources, and Texas is one of those states for sure. I mean, Romney clearly has trouble in the South. I don't know that he'll ever be able to do well in the South. So, that's obviously a state we want to try to get. So. All right.
Hogan,
How late's he going to stay tonight?
don't you need Newt to drop out to stay competitive in this race? Did you already answer that question?
No, I just knew you were. You could have just asked it, and I would have just turned around and knew it was you. No, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Newt is. We'd never ask anybody to get out of this race. I don't think that's prudent thing to do. It's a democracy, but you look at the numbers. I mean, if Newt were out of this race, we'd be winning these states by 10 points. And,
So how do you get him out of the race?
We're not going to try to get him out of the race. It's like I said, we just keep plugging along and see what happens. But I mean, you look at those numbers and you have to scratch your head and go, if he was out, we'd definitely be up. So.
Does your win in Tennessee mean that you can compete with Newt in Alabama and Mississippi?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Georgia was Newt's home state, and one of the things he tried to do was say he was going to kind of do that Southern strategy and take the South. And here we are in Oklahoma and Tennessee that we won fairly big. So. I think we're going to do really well in the South. I mean, Rick's values match up well with the South. His message matches up well in the South. So you can probably tell by my accent I'm from there. So I think his message resonates pretty well down there. So
Senator and Governor Romney are going to talk tomorrow, as they always do the day after, correct?
I don't know. I mean, they'll talk whenever they talk. They usually one calls the other at some point.
Okay. Is the senator going to talk to Speaker Gingrich?
I'm sorry?
Is the senator going to talk to Speaker Gingrich?
I don't know.
Has he called any of the candidates tonight?
Not to my knowledge.
Isn't it the same thing to say, if we had those votes, we'd be up, and please get out of the race so we can have those votes? Aren't those essentially the same things? It's the flip side of this very same coin. If you're saying if we had those votes, we'd win by 10 points. Isn't it that the same thing as saying, please get out of the race so we can have those votes and get those 10 points up?
No.
It's not?
No.
People in the party have been pretty vocal about coming behind Romney and saying it's time to end the primary. Why do you think they haven't been as vocal about saying it's time to rally around Santorum and Newt get out? You haven't heard as many calls for that from Republicans. From Republicans in the party. Certainly not as many as you've heard from people saying that's time to rally around Romney.
Yeah, but I mean, again, that's an establishment issue. I mean, we're not the establishment candidate, obviously, and they care about their candidate. And they want everyone else to get out, so Romney has a path, and that's just a.
But there are pastors, there's Tea Party supporters who are backing you guys. Have they reached out to you? Are they talking to you?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, how long can you guys really afford to wait for Gingrich to get out of this race? You're talking about you're not going to push him out, you're going to let the voters decide, but the way you tell it, Santorum's losing contest after contest because Newt won't get out of the race. Can you wait?
I mean, he's not losing contest after contest. I mean, you're talking about the anti-Romney vote being split three ways, and we're still within a few thousand votes, it seems like, in his biggest state. So, I mean, we're not looking at it that way. I mean, we're able to win. So far, we've been able to win, as Rick said from the podium tonight, we've won all over this country so far. We're one of the few candidates who's been able to pull off some wins in the South and in other parts. And I think that's important to note. And I think that the message is going to continue to resonate, and we'll pick up some votes in some more states as we move on. I mean, this has all been part of the process. I mean, as I'm sure many of y'all have heard me say a lot of times. I mean, I'm sure Governor Romney would have loved to have stopped that Super Bowl at halftime and let his Patriots win, but you got a second half to play, and when you end up playing it, the Giants end up taking it home, and we got 28 states left, and we'll keep on pushing forward. So,
Do you think the focus